heartbreaking tale of a music legend, a tragic story. The 70s were full of new music, and Shocking Blue really stood out with their song Venus, which mixed rock and pop in fun ways. But under their success was a sad story of troubles and a breakup that kept them from doing even better. What made one of the greatest singers of the 70s have such a sad story? Get ready, because what we found is even more surprising than you think, and there's more to come. Stay with us to hear the whole story. The struggle beyond the spotlight. At the heart of Shocking Blue's rise to fame was their lead singer, Mariska Veres. With her powerful voice, striking stage presence, and unique appearance, she became the face of the band. However, as their fame grew, the constant pressure of touring and the demands of the music business started to take a toll on the group. While they enjoyed commercial success, things were unraveling behind the scenes. This is a story not just of musical triumph, but of dreams that ultimately fell short. Right before their biggest tour, Mariska got a strange letter that could change everything. No one knew what it said, but it made everyone worried. As the band got ready, they wondered if they could handle the secrets about to be revealed. The band's story began in The Hague, Netherlands in 1967, during the Nederbeat movement, a Dutch response to the British invasion. Robbie Van Leeuwen, the band's founder, had previously played with another group called The Motions, but he wanted to start a new band that could make a mark internationally. His goal was to mix the sounds of British and American rock with a distinct Dutch flair. The original lineup included Fred de Wilde as the lead singer, Klaasje van der Wal on bass, and Cor van der Beek on drums. In 1968, they released their first single, Lucy Brown is Back in Town. The song had a similar sound to the Beatles, with some folk influences, but it didn't make a big impact. While it got some attention in the Netherlands, it didn't become a major hit. However, it laid the foundation for the band's evolving style. Everything changed later that year with a significant lineup change. Fred de Wilde left the band in 1968 after being drafted into the Dutch army, creating a major gap in the group. They needed more than just a new singer. They needed someone who could bring new energy to the band. That's when Robbie Van Leeuwen discovered Mariska Veres, a talented singer known for her powerful voice and striking looks. She was exactly what Shocking Blue needed to stand out. Van Leeuwen quickly saw Veres' potential to elevate the band. Her deep voice, dark hair, and intense stage presence were a perfect fit, and with her as the new lead vocalist, the band's sound and image transformed. With Veres at the helm, the band began creating new music that would soon become famous worldwide. Robbie Van Leeuwen, who was not only the lead guitarist but also the main songwriter, wrote Venus, a song that would soon become an international hit. With its catchy melody, unforgettable guitar riff, and upbeat rhythms, the song was the perfect showcase for Veres' deep and captivating voice. The lyrics, inspired by the Roman goddess of love, captured the free-spirited mood of the late 1960s. The track was a mix of rock, pop, and folk, with touches of psychedelia and Eastern influences. Released in the summer of 1969 in the Netherlands, it quickly climbed to number 3 on the Dutch charts. This was the breakthrough moment for the band, and the song soon became a global hit, with Mariska Veres' voice and performance leading the way to international fame. After making a big splash in the Netherlands, the track made its debut in the United States and the United Kingdom at the end of 1969. It was already a hit across Europe, so its release in English-speaking countries was eagerly awaited. It quickly climbed the music charts, thanks to a lot of radio play and people spreading the word. In the United States, the song shot to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 by February 1970. This was a huge moment for the band, making them one of the few Dutch bands to top the American charts. Its catchy mix of pop melodies and strong rock vibes, paired with Mariska Veres' unique voice, struck a chord with listeners, turning it into an iconic hit of the early 70s. While the song did well in the United Kingdom, it didn't quite reach the same heights as in the United States. Still, it helped solidify the band's place in the British rock scene and boosted their international fame. The song's success wasn't limited to these countries. For example, in Germany alone, it sold a remarkable 350,000 copies, further proving the band's growing reputation in Europe. But this wasn't the end of the story. In the United States, the track not only hit #1, but stayed there for 3 weeks straight. This highlighted just how appealing the song was, with its catchy rhythm, memorable guitar riffs, and Mariska's compelling voice, capturing the hearts of both pop and rock fans alike. On a global scale, the song sold over 5 million copies, making it one of the best-selling singles of its time. It became a hit not only in Europe and North America, but also in places as far as Asia. This worldwide success turned the band into an international sensation and ensured their place in music history. Before the song, the band was already making a name for themselves in the Dutch rock scene. Their song "Send Me a Postcard" was a lively psychedelic rock track that gained popularity in the Netherlands and other parts of Europe. This song showed the band's talent for blending rock, psychedelia, and pop into a unique and appealing sound. After "Send Me a Postcard," the band released "Long and Lonesome Road" in 1969. This song further proved their ability to mix rock riffs with catchy tunes, with its strong rhythm and showcasing Robbie Van Leeuwen's skill as a songwriter and guitarist. The track was also a major breakthrough for European music in the American market. It challenged the dominance of British bands and helped open the door for more European acts, showing that great music could cross cultural and language barriers. It is an unforgettable song in pop rock history, grabbing the attention of listeners everywhere and standing tall as a cultural touchstone of its time. More than just a popular tune, it captured the essence of the late 60s and early 70s, reflecting the era's interest in mystical ideas, women's empowerment, and the charm of psychedelic music. As the band got ready for their biggest tour, the mysterious letter suggested that an exciting and risky story was about to begin. The continued success of Shocking Blue. Mariska Veres, the lead singer of Shocking Blue, played a huge role in the song's success. She became a symbol of strength and inspiration for women in rock music, encouraging many future female artists. The song opened big opportunities for the band, putting them on the international map. Although they never quite matched the success of Venus with later songs, its impact remained strong, and many other musicians covered it over the years. Beyond the charts, the song became a familiar sound in movies, TV shows, and commercials, thanks to its memorable guitar riff and catchy chorus. It regularly shows up in collections of the best music from the 60s and 70s and is often called one of the greatest one-hit wonders in rock. After this major hit, the band continued to create music that appealed to audiences around the world, proving their solid place in rock. But their success didn't stop with the song. While it stayed their most famous song worldwide, other singles also did well, especially in Europe, Latin America, and Asia. The band's talent for combining catchy melodies, strong rock beats, and Mariska's distinct voice kept them popular in many places, even though they struggled to achieve the same level of fame in the United States. After the song, the band released Mighty Joe in 1969 with the B-side Wild Wind. It followed the band's formula of guitar-heavy, catchy tunes and was well-received, especially in Europe, where it became a top 10 hit in several countries, selling over 1 million copies globally. This showed that they weren't just a one-hit wonder. In 1970, they came out with another hit, Never Marry a Railroad Man. This song, with its catchy tune and emotional performance by Veres, became a favorite and top charts in countries like the Netherlands, Germany, and France. Like Mighty Joe, it sold over 1 million copies, proving the band could deliver consistent hits. But this wasn't the end of their journey. As the 70s continued, Shocking Blue released more songs that resonated with fans, especially in Europe and Latin America. Even though their popularity in the United States and the United Kingdom started to fade, songs like Hello Darkness and Demon Lover still did well in other regions, keeping the band's mix of rock, psychedelic, and pop influences alive. In 1971, they released additional songs like Shocking You, Blossom Lady, and Out of Sight, Out of Mind. While these tracks didn't reach the same global success as Venus or Never Marry a Railroad Man, they remained popular in places like Europe, Japan, and Latin America. Blossom Lady, for instance, became especially successful in the Netherlands and Belgium. It wasn't all smooth sailing. By the early 70s, the band found it harder to make an impact in the United States and the United Kingdom. The music scene had changed, with new trends like glam rock, heavy metal, and disco taking over, making it difficult for their 60s-inspired rock and psychedelic style to keep up. Despite this, they continued releasing successful singles in Europe and Asia, including Inkpot in 1972, and later hits like Rock in the Sea and Eve in the Apple, which found success in several European countries. The band played fun, guitar-heavy rock music with strong singing. They kept their fans happy around the world. In 1973, they released the song Oh Lord, which got popular in Germany and Japan. Even though these songs didn't hit the charts in the US or UK, they still showed the band's skill in making music that their fans liked. They were especially popular in Europe, Latin America, and Asia, showing they had fans all over, even if they weren't as big as before. Their popularity in various parts of the world, especially in Europe, Latin America, and Asia, highlighted just how well their music connected with people. At that time, it was rare for bands not singing in English to gain such widespread fame. Even though their success in the United States and United Kingdom faded after 1970, their loyal fan base in other areas showed how timeless their music was and how much people loved Mariska Veres' voice and Robbie Van Leeuwen's songwriting. Things started to change for the band when Klaasje van der Waal, one of the original members and the bassist, left in late 1971. Van der Waal had been a key part of the band's sound during their rise to fame. His departure came shortly after the band's first tour in Japan, which was a big moment for them as they expanded beyond Europe, Latin America, and Asia. The tour was a success, and they even released a live album that captured the energy of their shows, especially in Japan. But despite this success, tensions within the band began to grow, leading to Van der Waal's exit. Van der Waal's departure was a big loss because his bass playing had been a key part of their sound. His style was the foundation for many of their biggest hits, blending rock, pop, and psychedelic music. After he left, he chose to live a quieter, more private life, stepping out of the spotlight. This marked the end of an era and started a time of uncertainty as the band dealt with changes in their lineup. But this wasn't the worst part. By 1974, they were struggling to keep up with their past success. They kept making music and touring, but they weren't as popular as before, especially after Van der Waal left. Robbie Van Leeuwen, who wrote most of their songs and played guitar, also left in 1974. This was a big problem because he wrote their biggest songs like Venus and Mighty Joe. He left because he was tired from trying to make new hits and keep the band successful, especially when new music styles like disco and punk were starting to get popular. He was also tired of the tough demands of the music business and wanted to get away from the constant pressure of being in a famous band. Moving forward from their peak years, the narrative continues as Shocking Blue faces new horizons and evolving musical landscapes. Mariska Veres' transition. After leaving, Van Leeuwen started a new band called Galaxy Lynn, which explored more progressive rock sounds. However, Galaxy Lynn never reached the same level of success as his previous band, and Van Leeuwen eventually retired from performing, focusing instead on songwriting and production. But the challenges didn't stop there. With both Klaasje van der Waal and Robbie Van Leeuwen gone by 1974, Mariska Veres was left at a crossroads. As the face and voice of the band, Veres was known for her unique look and deep, powerful voice. Yet without the band's main creative forces, it became harder to keep the group's unique sound and identity alive. By the end of 1974, Veres decided to pursue a solo career, bringing a close to a major chapter in the band's history. When Mariska Veres left, it marked the end of the band. Without her, the band couldn't continue with the same name and eventually broke up. However, Veres didn't stop making music. She went on to start a solo career that lasted until 1982. During that time, she released different kinds of songs ranging from pop to jazz. Even though her solo work didn't become as popular as her time with the band, she stayed well-loved in the Netherlands for her strong and memorable voice. In the early 1980s, Veres took a short break from music, but eventually returned to the stage with new versions of the band in the 90s. While this didn't bring big commercial success, it allowed Veres to reconnect with old fans and reach new listeners who appreciated her past work. Although the band stopped in 1974 after key members left, their music, especially the hit song Venus, kept their memory alive. This lasting popularity led to a reunion in 1979 with Veres and guitarist Robbie Van Leeuwen. They hoped to make a comeback and even recorded a new single called Louise, but it was never released. This was a disappointing setback in their efforts to revive the band. The music scene was changing, though. In the late 70s and early 80s, disco and punk were the dominant styles, which left little room for the kind of rock shocking blue was known for. Despite these challenges, the band kept performing in 1980, playing their most famous songs and Never Marry a Railroad Man. While these performances brought back memories and pleased the audience, they didn't bring the band back to the top. But this wasn't the worst part. In 1984, they tried once more to restart their career, this time with new songs to appeal to both their old fans and a younger crowd. In 1986, they released a new single, The Jury and the Judge, with I Am Hanging On to Love on the other side. The song showed a more mature sound, but unfortunately, they didn't make much impact in a world where new wave, synth pop, and heavy metal were the popular genres. Still, they didn't give up. In 1994, they released another song, Body and Soul. By then, the music industry had changed again, with grunge, alternative rock, and hip-hop taking over. Unsurprisingly, Body and Soul struggled to fit in with these trends. Though it wasn't a hit, the song showed the band's determination to keep making music in their own style, and Veres' unique voice was still a key part of their sound. Even though their efforts to recapture their earlier success didn't reach the same heights, their influence remained strong. Their classic songs continued to be celebrated, covered by artists worldwide, and featured in commercials, movies, and TV shows. Robbie Van Leeuwen, who wrote many of their hits, eventually stepped back from the spotlight, focusing on writing and producing music. He left behind a legacy of songs that still resonate today. In Rotterdam, Netherlands, on April 2, 1998, Cor van der Beek, the original drummer, passed away at the age of 49. His drumming played a key role in shaping their sound, providing a solid foundation for their biggest hits. Songs like Venus were driven by his steady rhythms, giving their music a unique feel that people around the world loved. Then on December 2, 2006, Mariska Veres, the lead singer, died from gallbladder cancer in The Hague, Netherlands, at 59. Her powerful voice, which gave life to songs like Never Marry a Railroad Man and Mighty Joe, made her the face of the band. Her deep and soulful singing left a lasting impact on fans and the music industry alike. Another loss came on February 12, 2018, when Klaasje van der Wal, the original bassist, passed away at the age of 69. His bass lines were essential to their biggest hits, adding depth and rhythm that helped define their sound. Even though he left the band in 1971, his contributions during their most successful years continued to be appreciated by fans. With the passing of these important members, the story of the band slowly came to a close. They played a huge part in shaping Dutch rock music and made a lasting mark on music all over the world. Their unique sound came to life during the 60s and 70s, and their influence still reaches across generations. But this wasn't the end of the story. In 1986, the British girl group Bananarama brought it back to life with their cover. It became a massive hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States, as well as in Canada and Australia. The song also made it to the top 10 in the United Kingdom. Bananarama's version gave it a fresh, modern twist, making it a defining moment in 80s pop music and one of their most popular hits. What do you think truly led to the downfall of Shocking Blue? Was it simply the changing musical landscape, or were there deeper issues within the band that contributed to their decline? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into music history.